What's happening in the state of Assam in phase 1? In phase 1, the elections are in the 47 seats of Upper Assam, and in these areas, in the last elections, the Congress had 11, and I'm adding the AUDF, the BJP and its alliance partners at 35, with 45% of the vote share. Now, the interesting thing from the Congress's perspective is that they have a formidable alliance, BPF, Congress and the AUDF together. On the other side, you've got the BJP and the AGP. Kaushik Deka joins us. He's travelled Assam, he comes from Assam and understands the state of Assam better than anybody else in our newsroom, and dare I say, people are tracking politics at this time. Kaushik, give our viewers a sense of what do you think the key factors are in the first phase of polling in Upper Assam, and at this moment, what's your sense of the state of play?
Yeah, Rahul, this first phase, there are 47 seats, as you have mentioned, and the key factors, if you have to see, will be two factors. One is the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, which was passed in December 2019, and the tea garden issue, because the 47 seats, these are centered around Upper Assam, North Bank of Brahmaputra, and some in the middle of Assam. And when you see the middle of Assam seats, those have mostly Muslim, these would be Muslim dominated areas. So the voting pattern would be slightly different, and it will definitely favor Congress and AUDF. But the numbers are very less, the Muslim dominated seats in middle of Assam. But the majority of the seats are 26 seats are dominated by Assamese speaking people, and in these places, obviously Citizenship Amendment Act will play a role. But even if we say it will play a role and people are angry with BJP, those who would be angry with BJP, they would not probably vote for, they would not definitely vote for Congress, in a sense that because Congress has tied up with AUDF, and it dilutes the benefit they probably would have got because of this Citizenship Amendment Act. Now, when that happens, the primary gain would be BJP. The gainer would be BJP, for the simple reason that people who would have voted against BJP, they would go to the new parties, the new regional parties, and that's where the impact of CA would be diluted. And moreover, because of the COVID, the momentum that CA had got, the Citizenship Amendment Act had got, it has been diluted. Now about the tea garden factors. The Congress, obviously, they have a good manifesto. They have promised 5 guarantees, and one is raising the daily wages to rupees 365. Now, definitely that's a lucrative promise, but the legacy of Congress will impact them. Because as you have seen in the past, the Congress didn't do much about the tea gardens, and because of that, though they depended on the tea garden votes, but they didn't do much about the tea gardens, and because of that, the tea garden area shifted to BJP, and BJP tightened its grip through these interventions, through this direct benefit, transfer of benefits, and all those welfare schemes. They have tightened the grip, and because of that, it will be very difficult for Congress even to target BJP in the tea garden.
Now here's the problem from the Congress's perspective, Suprashnath, that for the longest time, when the BJP came to power, the Congress did very little. Just ahead of the elections, when polls started saying that, okay, it's not such an easy cakewalk for the BJP, that because of the AIUDF, the BPF and the Congress being together, you're in with a chance. Then we see the Congress mount a rearguard action. It's a bit like what happened in Gujarat, where for the longest time, after Prime Minister Modi came to Delhi, the Congress was in hibernation. Just before the elections, they wake up, they think they have a chance, and then try and go all out. This is once again a classic case of how the Congress, when for the first 3 years they should have been active, was completely in disarray in Assam. And which is why, even though you have an opportunity, you haven't been able to capitalize on it, whereas the BJP takes the smallest opportunity and just uses it to throw the door open.
You wait and watch the results and they'll tell you a very different story. I can agree to completely discount and disagree with your being complacent, quote-unquote, theory. As far as Assam is concerned, Rahul, and I say this with some amount of authenticity because I've been in Assam for a very long time during these elections. And I can tell you that the kinds of promises that the BJP made, the moon that they promised, 25 lakh jobs, only 80,000 created, less than 3%. We are going to these elections with 5 very clear promises. And the truth is that the tea garden is a big issue. The workers there have a pitiable situation that they live in. They were living on 167 rupees wages. The BJP had promised them the moon. They did not deliver. It was only after Rahul Gandhi went and promised 365 when we are elected to power, they increased those wages by merely 50 rupees. So today the wages are only 217. We are offering not the moon, very pragmatic approach. Our 5 guarantees are 5 lakh government jobs. We are offering 365 rupees to tea garden workers. We are offering 2,000 rupees for homemakers, 200 units of free electricity. And of course, our stand on CA is absolutely clear. We are not dubious about it. We are not looking the other way. We are saying we are vehemently opposed to this and we will ensure it is not going to be implemented.